Welcome to Make Sylacauga Healthy Again. I'm your host, Dr. Jonathon Douglas of Broadway Spinal Care. Today we have breaking news. Something has been discovered in Sylacauga that people have been searching for centuries and centuries. Fountain of Youth discovered in Sylacauga. It's not in a bottle. You're not going to find it in a pill. We didn't find it in a sinkhole behind Piggly Wiggly on 280. But we do have the answer. Stay tuned. More to come. Well, as we just set up, Fountain of Youth discovered in Sylacauga, and I'm going to go ahead and break the news. Fountain of Youth is balance and movement. And today I have a special guest, and if he was a wrestler, he'd be called Mr. Fountain of Youth. Don't you think? Wouldn't that be the thing?
Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning, buddy. So we work with patients, Tara and I do in the office all day long, and we talk to people about one thing, and I think people are always surprised when they say, what do you do in a chiropractic world? The thing we do is we help people with balance. That's really, that is the determining factor if someone is old or young. If you've got a young person who has a head injury and they lose their balance, their ability to balance, then they're essentially 90-something years old. And if you've got a 90-year-old that drives to see you and still does great in the world, I guarantee when you test their balance, they do great. So if we're looking for the Fountain of Youth, and if you want to learn how to get the Fountain of Youth, and it's at your home, and it's in your community, and we're going to talk to you about how to find it, the way to do it is balance, right? So Randy and I have discovered this because we're going to go back to pickleball, and I know people get tired of us talking about pickleball. But pickleball is the most amazing thing I've ever seen for bringing together young and old. What is our age range when we're out there? I mean,
It is. I just assumed to play with a 5-year-old as I had a 90-year-old.
That is the truth. And we have 2.5-year-olds out there now, which is chaos if you've never seen a 2.5-year-old on a court. And we've got 70 plus, I know. I mean, you're 70, and we've got maybe even an 80-year-old has shown up at some point out there. But what have you noticed in your life that's been better since you've been active? So we've been doing this for 2.5 years now, which is crazy to think. But I mean, you've been on the courts now. Before that, what were you doing activity-wise? I guess let's start there.
Nothing. I was working all the time. Yeah. But I was doing the same old routine every day. Now I'm doing things different. I was reading an article this morning about how, again, we'll go back to pickleball, how pickleball can extend your life by 10 years. That's amazing.
It's amazing.
And, you know, I like volunteering with the youth. I like volunteering with the seniors. And it's amazing. I'll give you a perfect example. One of our, I won't mention her name because she'll probably get mad at me, but we have a lady in Childersburg. She's on all kind of medications, and blood pressure, sugar, cholesterol, amazing. She wears one of these little patches where she can check it.
Right.
Well, just a couple of weeks ago, she was telling me she no longer has to take her blood pressure medicine. Her sugar's perfect. Her cholesterol is down. So it is amazing the things that it can do. And these kids, they're amazing. Parents have been telling me that, you know, this whole time they've been spending their time on computers, games, iPads, all this. And all of a sudden they discovered pickleball, and they want to go play pickleball instead of getting on the iPad. And I think that's a big accomplishment myself.
And people think that what we're really accomplishing out there is hitting balls. And hitting balls is the smallest part, I'd say, of what we're doing. We've got kids who have formed friendships that will never go away. We've got people meeting in the community that never would have met and forming partnerships they never would have found. We have people that were in a recliner and having to take a ton of meds, and they've gotten out and they're moving. And the thing they don't realize is what they're actually doing is they're improving their ability to move, and they're improving their ability to balance.
Right.
And that really is. So we go back to this Fountain of Youth situation. It's not in a recliner. You're not going to find, you're not going to get better balance in a recliner.
Right, right.
So what studies show is that you should be able to stand on one leg, eyes open, for 1 minute.
Right.
And if you can do that, that is what's considered normal. That's not exceptional. Now, exceptional people can do all kinds of other things, but that's why something like yoga and Pilates make such a huge difference, is because you need to be able to function in the world to stand on one leg for 1 minute.
Right.
And it affects you going up and down the stairs, it affects you moving on the court, it affects you getting to the bathroom at night. All these simple things, but that is simply the way to get back to youth, is to move like you've been doing,
yes.
right?
You know, and we'll go around pickleball just a minute. You and I love it.
Yep.
We got a lot of people that loves it.
Yep.
Great exercise.
Yep.
Mentally, it is super important mentally. That's one of the things that I have going with the senior program. You got to think before you hit the ball. But beyond pickleball, Tara's Pilates, Rebecca's yoga and Zumba. It is amazing the class that Rebecca has down there. They had to move out of the senior center into the gym, which is amazing.
I know it.
Tara, I think her Pilates class are all full.
She's full.
And it's amazing, and you can talk to some of these people, and they'll tell you a big difference between their lives before they started doing these activities and their lives now is totally different. And
people look for absolutely huge changes in life, but the thing that you really look for, if you're an old person, essentially an old person, and you're becoming a younger person, we look for things like, I can put my socks on now in the morning, because you don't realize how big a deal that is until you can't put your socks on.
Exactly.
Right? But what's the problem with 99% of people who can't put their socks on? Balance.
Yes.
They can't stand to do it, right? So they have no flexibility, they have no movement. And they say, I have to go down the stairs and I fell because I couldn't get to the handrail, right? That's all back to balance.
Right.
So your senior class is saving those people. They don't realize it. They think they're hitting balls, but what they're really doing is interacting better with the world.
Sure they are. You know, and that's like Tara's Pilates class and Rebecca's Zumba class. A lot of things are focused on everyday things that we do. You know, some of her moves might be reaching for something on a top shelf, or like you said, putting their socks on, tying their shoes, reaching in the back for a child in the back of the car.
Absolutely.
Those are things that you can't do unless you work on them.
That's right. Carrying groceries up the stairs.
Yes.
We hear that all the time, is that I had no idea. I was having trouble carrying. I'd carry one bag and now I'm carrying all the bags in and I don't stumble on the stairs. That's a big difference, in life. But the main message I wanted today is that there are things available that are free. And so the biggest push on this Make Sylacauga Healthy Again is I'd like for people to understand you don't have to be some kind of a wealthy person that could go to all these different practitioners and learn these things. There literally are things you can do for free. So if you start practicing standing on one leg, just get next to a countertop and start standing on one leg and see if you could get to a minute, right? Wow, how easy is that? And then we've got an agility pad out at the tennis courts.
Yes.
And so I built that about, 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, somewhere in that range, because I saw that the kids that were coming out, and surprisingly, I was surprised by how bad the agility was on the kids. I really was. But kids don't play outside like they used to. You and I were out in a creek standing on rocks, and that's different. But there is a pad that's painted and it's permanent and it's sitting out there by the tennis court.
It's free.
And it's free.
Yeah.
And there's something called an agility ladder, and you can look that up on YouTube and you can learn how to do it, and it's very simple. We have something called figure eights, and you can watch that on YouTube and you can see it's very simple. We can include a video. I'll post a video on Make Sylacauga Healthy Again of us doing it. But we got some pictures of you with the kids that we took the other night that we're going to have on here. And so it just helps you interact with the world easier. That's really the key to the whole thing, interacting with the world in a balanced way.
It is. You know, Jonathan, the whole time during my work life, and I'm sure other work life, all you hear about is, oh, I'm going to retire and I'm going to sit back in the recliner or sit on the rocking chair in the porch. Well, let me tell you, folks, that don't work.
It doesn't work.
I lasted about 2 months, and I said, I got to get out of here. I was already getting stiff and lazy, and I got to get out and do something. So You've got to stay active when you become a senior. If you don't, I'm afraid you won't be here very long.
That's exactly right. What are you offering now for seniors? Give me a summary of what your classes are.
We do Chillisburg on Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock, free class. We do Sylacauga on Thursday mornings at 10 o'clock, free class. I'm also going to be helping with the introducing pickleball. I'm not an instructor, I'm an introducer.
You don't have to be. Yes.
So I'm introducing pickleball to the Chillisburg Summer Day Camp. I'm introducing, it'll be Monday mornings at 9 o'clock. I'm doing Sylacauga Summer Camp kids. It'll be Tuesday morning. And you'd be surprised, the kids, and the difference, the results that you see from the time you start with Summer Camp kids. I did it last year. The difference that you see, and let me tell you, we don't just jump in there and do pickleball. I also do exercise to warm up, because before any strenuous event, you need to warm your body up.
Absolutely.
You know,
and these kids don't get PE like we used to, so
No.
they don't know about these activities.
some of them don't even go to PE, Jonathon.
I know it. I have seen kids that don't even know, when you hand them a racket, they wouldn't even know how to grip it.
Right.
Right. They hold
We
it in
go
the wrong
through
spot.
all the basics.
Yeah,
of
there's
doing
just
that.
basics they need.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's exceptional what you're doing. Why are you doing it for free?
Why not? That's
Yeah.
the question. Why not?
Why not? I agree.
Why not? I love volunteering. I do many volunteering jobs around Sylacauga. That's just one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to make money on everything.
I know.
You know?
Tara's actually going to be talking to Leadership Sylacauga soon, and she said, what's the topic that you think I need? And we were talking about this, and she said, I think we really need to talk about community involvement and how people used to interact with their community in a different way, and they join civic groups, Beautification Council or Kiwanis or whatever it was, and they met their community and they interacted with the community, not in a way that ever made money. Often you lose money, right? You end up investing in it or whatever.
So what?
But you end up with a better community. So
Oh,
the
yeah,
investment is huge. I mean, the growth is amazing.
It is.
And so we do Tuesday nights, if you don't know this, kids night, and kids and beginners. So beginners are welcome. We had some parents that came out.
Yes.
And so 6 to 7 on Tuesday nights at the pickleball courts or tennis courts, and then hopefully soon pickleball courts. We have another free program for kids. We have $5 pickleball paddles. I bought a ton of them at Bargain Hunt when it was going out. And so there's just so much available that people can do. But if we're going back to the Fountain of Youth, it's really balance and movement, right?
Yes, exactly.
You feel like a different person if you're moving.
You do.
You
really do.
You really do.
You know, we can't leave. Sylacauga Rec is great.
Oh, yeah.
It's great. We got our tennis courts here, so soon to be having some pickleball courts.
It's amazing. Their support has been great.
I think they're supposed to be done by this fall. And we can't leave out Brad Logan with Chillisburg Rec Department, which is our what we call Coosa Valley Pickleball Club.
Right.
Brad does a lot of free programs too. You can come up. He built 4 brand new courts out by their baseball field.
We have world-class courts sitting in Childersburg because
you
of
got
Brad.
lights. If you can't come during the day, there's lights out there. Come at night.
Yes.
We have lights here at the tennis courts in Sylacauga. Come at night. It's not just a daytime sport.
Yeah.
I have a lot of free time. I like to do mine during the day, which seniors loves it. But there's nothing wrong with doing it at night too. We got plenty of lights that you can see.
It's absolutely
Get out
true.
and get some exercise.
It's absolutely true.
Even if you don't like pickleball, or you don't like Zumba, or you don't like Pilates, get out and walk. Get out, walk. Keep your body moving. If you don't keep your body moving, it's going to go stale.
It's going to go stale. And I would throw in, if you go out and walk, in that with a 1-minute leg stand. Find somewhere to support yourself.
Yeah.
Start stand. Can you stand on one leg for 1 minute? Because that's such a basic thing. But you interact with the world in a totally different way if you can. To finish up, I'm going to brag on my friend Randy here. So Randy's gone from not really doing a lot exercise-wise, okay? We get on these pickleball courts. He's out teaching people now. He's won 2 tournaments in a row, 2 tournaments in a row at Childersburg. And this isn't tournaments for seniors. This is a free, open play, show up.
Right.
And Randy, at 70 years old, is out there teaching people a lesson because he's found the fountain of youth.
Oh, yeah.
That's really the truth.
I
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
We also
I'm proud of you too. Jonathan was my partner in one of these tournaments, so I
Yeah.
got to give him some credit too.
We got cheated out of a second place, but we're not going to talk about that. That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
We're not bitter.
Yeah.
We're not bitter. To finish up, I always want to give a quote, something to make you think, but I heard this and I think it applies to this in such a huge way. is that you wrap your fear around you like a blanket. And the thing that makes me think about is that people use fear of doing something new as a crutch. You know, like I'm too disabled to do this. I have no ability to get out there. And when have you ever seen somebody on a crutch that has good balance? Never. So try to get rid of those crutches. You might have something holding you back that actually is not something that's holding you back. If you drive by those tennis courts, maybe you stop and take a minute or two, learn how to use an agility ladder, maybe hold on to the fence, practice your one-legged stands. If you do that for a month, you're going to say, my gosh, the Fountain of Youth does exist here in Sylacauga. It really does. So we'd love to see you on the courts, and if you have any questions, then please send them to us. But please start working on your balance, because if you had a crystal ball and I could show people in 6 months, if you worked on your balance, this is where you'd be, they'd all be there. Right, Randy? They'd all be there.
That's right.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.